You don't understand. If he wins me 2 trophies, I was still going to change the manager.
Can we stop doing
Like,
this?
No, Igal. That's Dial's
My
opinion.
My issue with this topic is we just won a game, a team that we haven't been able to beat the last 2 seasons, and it wasn't the best of performances, but we're 3 points ahead of Man City, 4 points ahead of Liverpool, and we're talking about Arteta as if this is a problem. Let's be real. Not every single game is going to be a convincing, amazing performance. There's going to have to be grind outs. And let's be real. Fulham came for a fight. They didn't come here to play nice. They didn't come here to give us time on the ball, give us space. They came to bruise us up and make us feel pain. So I'm not going to sit here and necessarily say, Arteta, you got this wrong, and cuss the manager every single game. It doesn't make sense. We won the game. We got the result we wanted. We can disagree with stuff, but guess what? Every single one here probably wanted Trossard on the bench before he scored the goal. So we can all
definitely not.
I didn't. I want him on the pitch.
Trossard always starts.
I thought Trossard was great. When he assisted Calafiori's disallowed goal,
I just feel like this.
I'll take the boring 1-0 win till the end of the season.
After he missed that chance, I've seen a lot of people calling for him to be subbed off. So right now, I don't think this is the time to be discussing Arteta being a bum or anything.
Egal. One thing I can say.
When it comes to substitutions, there's going to be substitutions we agree with, substitutions we disagree with. But guess what? We all rolled our eyes when Martinelli came on at times and he made a difference. We all rolled our eyes when certain things happen. But right now, I'm looking at this game and I'm saying to myself, there's one major topic that I don't think you guys have discussed. There's one major issue and concern, which I don't think you guys actually looked at in it throughout this whole time. The build-up play. It needs to come through other players.
I said that they
got through. It can't just be Saka. It can't just be Saka every single time. It can't just be give the ball to Saka, build up through Saka. No, we need other ways. And I think even though we have Eze on the pitch, even though we have Zubimendi on the pitch, Rice on the pitch, the problem we have is not too many of them are taking the game by the scruff of the neck and saying, I'm going to drive through this team.
I disagree. I think
I agree with that completely.
Eze receives the ball, he's passing it back. Declan Rice receives the ball.
But that's the reason why. That's the reason why this game, Egal. That's the reason why in this game it looks like Saka was the only output in this game because the other guys were poor. Again, they will have poor games. Eze had a poor game today. In another game, Eze will be an output. In today's game, we can look at the game in isolation, right, as one game and say, well, we know what Eze is capable of doing. Right now, it didn't happen today with Fulham. Saka today was on fire with Fulham. He did what he needed to do. So great. It looked like Saka was the only output. The real truth is in another game, and if Eze is firing on all cylinders, Saka is firing on all cylinders, that's multiple outputs. We saw this when we brought in Odegaard and Eze in the same game. When we played against in the Champions League, we automatically saw that the dynamics changed.
Again, it comes back to my point about Rice, though. I don't think he is the best number 8 that we can have there. He lacks creativity.
He's not.
He lacks creativity.
We already
even our creative players aren't doing anything.
No. There were more than Saka that were trying to do things. Calafiori tried to do things. Zubimendi was doing things. The reality is there's going to be certain things that you try. The thing is, right, just because Saka had an exceptional game doesn't mean the other players didn't try to do something. Yes, they weren't to the Saka level, but Zubimendi opened up a few opportunities, so did Calafiori. And that's the thing. Just because one player had an outstanding game doesn't mitigate that there weren't other avenues that we were trying to break in from.
Do you lot feel like Saka should have been taken off? Because I don't want him to get burnt out again.
No.
He stayed on after the 90 minutes. I think he should have been subbed with the injuries that he's had.
Dan, this is
That's
you
what
being,
I believe.
He gets subbed off and we concede.
Dan, this is you being critical again.
One thing about players.
Let me explain what I mean. No, let me explain what I mean. Again, Saka's injury last season, we agree, was because of compoundment of him playing many games over the years. But one thing you will an athlete will tell you is the more they play, the fitter they are. Like they stay fit. All of this thing that we do as fans and say, oh, take him out, let him rest real quick, let him rest. It's almost like putting your hand in hot water and then running under cold water. Hot water, cold water.
I'm not saying he shouldn't have played the game's full game, bro. I'm just saying like 87, 88 minutes.
Who are you going to bring?
We could have taken Wanyeri. Could have brought on Wanyeri for him.
You know what?
Protecting. I'm just saying protect Saka. That's all I'm saying. Because if he pops down again,
now.
we're all going to be complaining.
It's not the worst point. I understand, but do you need?
I get the point, but while we discussing the futuristic hypothetical, hold on, a futuristic hypothetical Saka injury when it hasn't, it's like what we won a game today, and now it's like, oh yeah, I don't think this player should have stayed on because he might have an injury in the future. It's like, what are we doing?
But from the other point of view, if you take Saka off, people will be like, he was our best player. Why did you take him out of the game?
Can I say one more thing? Instead of always speaking about, I feel like as fans, we constantly speak about the positives and then brush by it and stay discussions on the negative. There's one positive we can discuss. Right now, 3 games that we struggled against last season: Fulham, West Ham, and what was the other one? Fulham, West Ham, and what was the other one?
And Newcastle.
There's a 4th one in there, Gal, by the way.
That's 9 points. There's
a 4th one, Gal. You're missing one. You're missing one. Man United opening game. What was that last season? A draw.
All right. So, and clean sheets.
You also beat City and drew at Liverpool.
There's a lot of positives to discuss, but the thing is, those positives don't engage conversation.
Not
okay, and where are we?
The opposite happened. It's not about engage. The opposite happened. You beat City 5-1 last season. You drew 1-1.
Yeah, but that's one game. That's 2 games.
Last season we drew with City and we beat them.
I think Sam, how many points does Arsenal have this year, and how many points does Liverpool have this year?
Great, fantastic. Anyway, as I was saying, it's not just about the same exact game last season. There are certain games that are tougher this season, and there are certain games that are easier this season. So when you look at Bournemouth as an example, Bournemouth this season are a tougher game. Crystal Palace this season are a tougher game. There are games that become tougher this year. So we can't just compare last season's results versus this season's results. Guys, can I talk? As an example, the first game of the season where Liverpool played Bournemouth, we won 4-2. Everyone's like, "Oh my God, Bournemouth!" And they scored 2 goals against you. Now people look at Bournemouth as a tough game. So there are some games that will come up this season that are tough games that you don't know about. So it's not just about comparison.
So Hussam, he's not comparing results. He's not comparing results. You're missing his point totally, though.
Is it okay if I speak? Can I get you permission to speak? Just 30 seconds. Thank you. So when it comes to the point that Igal's making, the rebuttal to it is the following. I think the concerns are okay, because the concern is about the creativity in open play. You did a show with Gunnar Solskjaer and he was speaking about the Havertz role, and we all called Solskjaer crazy, including myself, when we were talking about the Havertz Jokeras thing. And now what he's saying is coming to fruition. The creativity isn't quite the same. So you need to find a way to create chances, to create more havoc, to create things that will make your wins more sustainable. Now, to be fair, and that's something I said already, had Jokeras been clinical today, this game ends 3-0, this game ends 4-0. So had he just taken his chances, maybe this conversation wouldn't have been happening. But at the same time, all they're asking for is more chances that can be created in open play, which I think is fair criticism. That's not them going over the top.
That's a bit harsh, though, Hassan. Those chances that he had were a bit of half chances, though.
Yeah, exactly. They weren't clear cut. You're comparing him to Darwin Núñez like you did earlier.
I'm not saying that he was good enough.
I don't think Jokeras is. The 2 shots he had, they were from fairly acute angles. I wouldn't look at them and go, there.
The one in the second half was not an acute angle.
What one?
The one in the second half was not in an acute angle.
What one?
10 minutes before the game finishes.
What? Where he wrestled the ball and then got at a shot?
No, the one where Saka played it to him, where he was just 1-on-1 with the keeper. Basically, he shot it straight at him. That's not an acute angle.
But he had to turn. Hang on.
Was he dead in front of the goal, or was he to the right of it?
Yeah. Igal knows the one I'm talking about. That's why he responded. The one where he shot it straight at Leno.
No, but he was to the right of the goalpost.
But where was he in the box?
To the right of the goal.
Front of Leno, like 5
was it so he was at an acute angle. He wasn't square on.
It wasn't straight on to the goal. He was on the right-hand side.
It wasn't a difficult angle. He should have scored that.
Okay.
But anyway, I have to go now, you guys. So big up.
Okay.
I just like to ask.
I wanted to roast him.
Can I say one thing though?
He ran away.
I've been trying my best to avoid discussing refereeing decisions. But
by the way, sorry. Just want to say that shot from Jokeras in the 94th minute that he's talking about, from an XG perspective, is considered 0.07 That's the acute angle. That's the chance that should be scored. To give
he's
you,
run away now,
to give you some context,
he's not here to hear you.
To give you some context, like Trossard's that he scored was like 0.34, and that's the tap in. Like, it shows you how hard that still was. It wasn't, that shot was not some easy shot that you should be scoring. It's you've got a 0.7% chance. Sorry, 0.07% chance of scoring. But yeah, it was easy. Sorry, back to you, Anton.
Was there a penalty in this game? In my opinion,
it should have been.
It should
have been a penalty.
Whoa. Which one are you talking about, Igal?
There's three things. Number one, the first one where he gets tripped up as he's turning the defender. He clearly gets tripped up by the defender as he's turning the defender. But because the way he falls, which is a natural way to fall, he's thinking he's diving or he's trying to sell it.
He tried to stand. He tried to stand, Igal. He tried to stand. He wanted to stand on his feet.
So I think that's soft, but I get, if that was in Europe, it's definitely a penalty. The second one, which is Bukayo Saka, that is clearly a penalty. He gets contact on his knee to knee before he touches the ball.
No.
You cannot tell me you take
by the way, what is this year with these referees giving us penalties and taking them away? They were the only club in the Premier League. They've done that to you on a consistent basis.
You take the player's leg out to get to the ball.
So Igal, let me just say this real quick. That Bukayo Saka's penalty, right? I actually have equipment at home where I do slow motion frame by frame. I literally, every time I'm watching the game, I just run it through it, and his studs touch the ball first. These studs underneath from me. No, I'm telling you, Igal. Like, that's the reason I started. But I was like, this is annoying because the studs, you could see the ball bounce. His studs.
He hits his knee on.
Yeah, but look at the leg. Look at his leg and the contact he makes with his leg on Saka's leg.
Hold on, the contact between the defender and Bukayo Saka happened after the studs touched the ball. It was the bottom of his front studs that touched the ball, and then the contact happened between them. So for me, according to the law, right, in the FA book, once you contact the ball, whether it's the bottom of your studs, he didn't show studs, because if he had shown studs, the referee would have given the penalty. That's also.
Don't they say if the player can still get the ball, it's a penalty after that? Don't they say that?
No.
I'm confused.
Yeah, but but Negative Dan brings up a really, really, really important point. So Negative Howard Webb. Yeah, let's call him. He's cool with that. Him and Positive.
I'm all right with that.
It's cool. It's cool. He knows it's tongue in cheek.
I'm real. That's it.
I like that. So from my point of view is this. I've heard Howard Webb and the PGMOL say that just getting a touch doesn't mean that it's a clean tackle. It's about, do you completely dispossess the player? Do you change the angle of the ball? Do you play it and win possession back for your team, as examples? Now, for me, I've said all along, if a player gets a minuscule touch, I think it shouldn't be a foul. That's my personal stance. But where I want to speak to the PGMOL is, what you've said, that if those tackles are made, but it doesn't really, that slight touch doesn't make that big an impact, because Lamptey versus Arsenal 2 seasons ago, he touches the ball every bit as much as the Fulham player did today. And then Jesus goes down, they gave the penalty, and they completely defended it and said, just getting the touch doesn't matter. You didn't stop the player from having possession. Now, if Saka isn't taken out after the touch on that ball, there's none of us pretend he wasn't going to get onto that. The ball did slightly change direction, but not enough for Saka not to maintain possession. So again, everyone's going to have a personal opinion. I want to speak to the PGMOL because, again, I'm confused. I'm still confused by things they say one week are different by the things they say the next. That was my stance on that. I just felt it.